So, what is mould? Well, mould is the non-scientific or common name we have given to a group of organisms within the kingdom of fungi. Many years ago, fungi were considered to be plants, but as human understanding and the scientific method evolved, fungi was identified as a kingdom in its own right alongside plants and animals. In simple terms, fungi are not plants. There are many types of fungi, including mushrooms, toadstools, puffballs, yeasts, mildew, truffles, and many more. Mould is the name we have given to those fungi that have characteristics similar to those that you will see growing on the bread in your bread bin, on a peach in your fruit bowl, and a blue cheese or around the wooden window frame in your home. Fungi are an essential component of life on Earth. They are the principal organism in the process of decomposition and part of the circle of life. Mould is described as ubiquitous, meaning that spores and fungal fragments are absolutely everywhere, no matter what environment you may live or work in. We have co-evolved with mould and its spores in our surroundings in much the same way that we have co-evolved with plant pollens. For the purposes of understanding fungi or moulds, a general analogy with plants is useful. Mould spores, like plant seeds, will germinate when conditions are right. When a mould spore germinates, it produces thread-like hyphae like a plant seed produces roots. Hyphae form a mycelium, which can be compared to a network of roots and branches, and the mould's mycelium produces fruiting bodies, much like a plant's vegetative growth produces flowers or fruit. In larger fungal organisms, these fruiting bodies are the toadstools and mushrooms that you can see. Most of mould growth is the mycelium. Spores can be anywhere up to 5% of the entire organism's mass, depending on species. Consider the percentage of the mass of all the acorns on an oak tree compared to the total mass of the tree. It'll be tiny. The purpose of the fruiting body of a mould is to disperse spores, much like a fruit disperses seeds. Then the cycle starts all over again. The aim of both organisms is to reproduce by colonizing new areas. Every organism fills an evolutionary niche. However, unlike plants, moulds prefer a lack of air circulation, dark conditions, and will survive without liquid water. Mould simply needs an external food source on which to grow and will thrive in high humidity, which supplies the organism with sufficient water in the form of water vapor. In summary, mould spores will germinate, grow, and colonize your home when there is food, air, and sufficient moisture. Okay, so now it's time to look at the sizes involved. This is important to understand, especially if you are considering cleaning off mould yourself in your own home. To describe small particles, the micron is often used as a unit of measurement. A micron is 1/1,000,000th of a meter, or, if you prefer, 1,000th of a millimeter, as there are 1,000 millimeters in a meter. For comparison, the thickness of a human hair will be about 70 microns. The threshold for visibility for the unaided human eye is about 40 microns. Fungal spores vary in size from 2 to 80 microns. The fungi we refer to as moulds produce spores in the range of 2 to 20 microns depending on species. This makes mould spores too small to be visible to the naked eye. By the time mould growth is visible to the naked eye, it already represents a substantial colony. A single square millimeter of growth of, for example, a species like penicillium can have as many as 1,000,000 spores. Each one of those tiny spores, once dispersed, given the right conditions, can produce a new colony that is 20 million times the original mass of the spore in as little as 3 to 6 days. It really is Jack and the Beanstalk stuff. Mould spores are disseminated by the movement of the air surrounding it. Poor cleaning techniques can amplify this dissemination. Disturbing mould releases spores and fragments of the mycelium. Fragmented particles can be smaller than 1 micron and are referred to as microfragments. Now, particles smaller than 7 microns, which includes the spore sizes of many moulds, as well as microfragments, can remain airborne indefinitely in air that is moving. These particles may never land on a surface unless the air is completely still. Careless or naive cleaning procedures disturb the mould and will simply contaminate the air even more than it is already contaminated. While particles of up to 7 microns are small enough to be buffeted around in the air indefinitely, particles smaller than 5 microns are referred to as respirable and have the ability to bypass human respiratory system defenses and enter our lungs. The smaller the particle, the more deeply it may penetrate, and the greater the chance they have of reaching the tiny alveoli where the lungs exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide with our bloodstream. The components of mould that have the potential to cause harm to humans are not just the spores, but also the fragments of the mycelium, the ergosterol, the enzymes, and the toxins the moulds produce. The entire organism also produces gases referred to as MVOCs, microbial volatile organic compounds. The presence of MVOCs in a built environment is a sign of poor indoor air quality. Toxins produced by moulds are referred to as mycotoxins. All the component parts of mould have the capability of causing harm to humans, not just the spores. Watch the next video to learn how we know that mould is a hazard to human health. Thank you for watching.